And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Comic Corner here on the Agents of Fandom Network, here on Facebook, YouTube, and the Bad Place. My name is Damon. I'm your host. What we do is comic book news, reviews, and interviews. Today is our review show where we go through all of our very favorite comics, the ones that we've been picking up at our comic shop because we love doing that. I am here with my two friends today, starting with Across the Ocean, AF. Good evening.
Good
After evening?
morning
I
to
usually say
everybody.
after evening.
Good after evening, good morning. I'm good
Mhm.
with anything. It's been a hot minute. Glad to be back with my best buddies. So yeah, let's talk about some amazing comic books.
TJ, good morning. Bold to you.
Yes, good morning. I was getting out of bed this morning, but I made it, baby. I made it, and we're here to talk about some comics.
We're here to talk about some comics and maybe a little bit more. But first, let's go through our rundown because this is what we got on the slate today. Let's start over. A brand new run. You know how much I love. Well, we all know how much I love. TJ loves. We all love number ones here. Let's start over, shall we? Batman number one came out this week with a brand new writer, very familiar artist. Um, Maybe it's a number one. It's a new coat of paint, fresh coat of paint that it needed. We'll get into it. Darkest issue yet of Absolute Superman came out this week. Golly, AF, what an issue this one was. And also, does the story match the artwork? Ultimate X-Men came out this week, number 19, I believe. Crazy how long ago that one came out. Incredible artwork, but does the story match what we're seeing? But first, I had to talk about this. Hey guys, did you know that Superman's getting a sequel? By Superman, I mean the movie, the big hit of the summer, the $600 million movie. Superman is getting a sequel. We knew it was happening, but it is officially announced yesterday on James Gunn's socials and David Corenswet's socials. What I love about this is what I'll say about this because we knew the movie was happening. The art that's been posted features Lex in a super suit and David Corenswet's Superman. So looks like Lex isn't staying in jail for very long, which is just very DC Comics. No one stays in jail for very long. But here's what I love about this. It's not like the Lex in a super suit or whatever. It's the fact that this is how they announced it. We had several artists. Jim Lee made brand new art to promote this sequel. Jorge Jimenez also made brand new art to promote this sequel. And we had a couple others. That's what I love about it. We're using DC comic artists to promote these movies. I love it. I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great way to do it. AF, general thoughts. So you could talk about the movie. You could talk about what I just talked about. How excited for you are about this?
No, dude, I'm so amped for this. I only saw the announcement a bit later last night after I was done on my other stream. And I'm over the moon. And the fact that you said they're using comic book artists to do this, and I mean that we saw that direction happening on the set of the Superman movie as well, when all of these comic creators from Superman in the past came on set to see what was happening. So we know how much love James Gunn has for the source material. So I'm just so glad that he's doing things this way, and long may it continue.
Comic artists to announce a movie. Love that from DCU. Wish other companies would do it, says Jam. Yeah, just to bounce off of what you said, AF, that Marvel has brought on creators of those characters onto the sets before. We saw that most recently with Fantastic Four. A bunch of Fantastic Four creators, writers, artists were all on set to, bring in, maybe give a little bit of insight on their end for the movie. But I just love that this is a way that they announced the sequel because they could have just put up a logo. They could that will inevitably change, right? The name of this movie also will probably change. Like we did, it was originally supposed to be Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Now it's just Supergirl. Originally supposed to be Superman Legacy. Then it was just Superman. Weird little insight here. The last Superman movie to come out prior to Superman, you know what the name of that movie was called? It was Superman Man of Tomorrow. It was an animated movie.
I
So
remember
I
that
have
one.
a feeling that'll probably change just for SEO purposes, as we all to think about. TJ, quick thoughts on this.
Love it. I mean, every comic book movie should be doing this. I don't know why they're not doing this. It seems like such a simple idea. So yeah, I love it. I personally love the name Man of Tomorrow. I think that for me is a great name for the sequel, especially with the Superman that they set up in the first one. I think that's perfect. Fits the vibe perfectly. And I mean, yeah, I just love the way they announced this. No bullshitting, no beating around the bush. I don't want to see 10 million fucking, sorry, threw our F bomb out, but I don't want to see a
we're allowed as many
million.
as we want now. It's great.
Oh yeah, okay, let's
Yeah.
go. But I don't want to see a bunch of set photos. I don't want to see like scripts and leaks and this and that. Like, just give me some comic art, give me a date. Let's fucking party, baby. I love it. I am a huge fan.
We all know this is going to make some variant covers on a Superman or Action Comics or something too. So there's a great way to cross promote, get some money out of it, able to get a little physical promotion for it. I think that'll be very cool. Jam also says, this is what we mean when we say we want comic synergy, not the movies impacting the comics. Sorry,
Shout out, Jam.
not sorry. I think
talk that shit, Jam. Come
we
on.
all agree with that. I think we all don't mind a little bit when some of the movie stuff, one of the ones I think did very well was Shang-Chi. When Shang-Chi came out, a lot of that lore made its way into Shang-Chi comics. I think that did it fairly well, so long as it doesn't impact it too much. It's just more of like an expansion. I don't think the movies will be impacting the comics anytime recently with Batman, because who knows when the hell the Batman 2 is going to be coming out. And at the same time, it really seems like that is still going to be its own thing if we're comparing like maps from the leaks or from set photos to maps from what we've already seen. We're already comparing maps, and I love maps. Give me a transit map. I'll go crazy. But
to say we already translating maps over here, man. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know it was getting that far.
Yes.
Oh god.
This is Batman #1. We've talked so much, specifically with Marvel, about renumbering, right? And I think renumbering, we've all agreed, can be good if done at the right time for the right reason. Batman is one of those characters right now I think actually could use it and did use it. I look also recently at Superman. Superman renumbered back in the dawn of DC. And it's been Joshua Williamson's run. It's been very important to the overall All-In saga since. Chip Zdarsky had his run on Batman. Mixed reactions, I think we can say. And now we're in the Hush 2 era, which is, by the way, still going on. So that's not confusing at all. I think we can kind of ignore and just move past Hush 2. So I think this is a #1 for a character that desperately needed it. So let's talk about it. This is written by Matt Fraction. I won't lie, one of my favorite writers, so I'll probably be a little high on this. Artist Jorge Jimenez was just one of the best artists in the business right now. He did one of the announcements, specifically David Corenswet's announcement art, colorist Tomeo Mori, and letterer Clayton Cowles. Just for the people who do not know where Batman is in his life right now. I'm not the biggest Batman reader, by the way, but I try to keep up with it as a big reader of Nightwing. They're very attached. Duh. Batman lost his mansion, lost his money. He's essentially living in Alfred's old house, his old high rise, and is doing everything up there, right? Still clearly has money because he has some sort of Batcave and this brand new suit, which is very blue and black, which is very Nightwing. I think the suit is okay. I wish it was more of a black and yellow scheme because to me, I look at blue and black and I see Nightwing, but that's fine. The logo's fine, whatever. Where we pick up in this issue, we're in Gotham, and Killer Croc escapes his rehab facility, not a prison, a rehab facility. And Batman goes out and chase after him. He goes to the rehab facility and he's like, people never change. And that's essentially going to be the thesis of the story. It's very blunt. It's very in your face. This run seems like it's going to be about how Bruce thinks people will never change. People can't ever change. but maybe they can. Because when he finally finds Croc, he's not angry, he's not rambunctious, he's not causing violence. He's just kind of like sitting there almost like in a childlike state, looking at this museum in wonder. And that's a lot of the conversation he had with this doctor who's saying he's going through the same thing. We feel like Waylon is still in there. It's a different Waylon. It's more like a childlike Waylon, but he may still be in there. And that's kind of just where this issue is. Meanwhile, in Gotham, it's very similar to how things are going in Bloodhaven, where there's a new commissioner in town and bringing in a lot of heavy duty military to be like, cops, you leave. We're taking over. Heavy military presence is going to be the answer from here on out. So it's very similar to Bloodhaven that way. So I'm just kind of like, we've seen this recently in another Bat Family comic. Maybe that'll just kind of be like the overarching theme in all the Bat Family comics is, your standard police force versus like a heavy military force. Timely, to say the least. I thought it was just solid. I think this is a solid first issue. It's very blunt with its mission statement. It brings Bruce back to a place that I think people want to see him at without completely ignoring everything that we've already done, right? We can't just like hit a full reset button, even though this is a number one. You can't just ignore everything that's happened. You have to get him back to that spot. So I think this is pretty solid. Also, the Robin in here in this run, it seems like it's going to be more focused on Tim. This is my least favorite Robin, personally. I know a lot of people love Tim Drake, but it seems like Tim will be the focus Robin in this run.
Okay. Does this is there anything I know it's a number one, but is there any background that a reader would need to go into to read this?
They do the classic thing where Bruce like offhands explains it's like, yes, I used to have my mansion and all that stuff, and how I miss that Pennyworth humor and stuff, because there is like that AI like hologram Alfred going around, which some people may not understand if you're reading it for the first time, is not actually Alfred, right? So there's a couple things where it's like you kind of have to know, or else you may get a little confused, be like, oh, that's not actually Alfred. But other than that, like you could just jump right in. It's a very simple first issue, which I think is what this needed as after everything that's been going on with Batman comics.
That's fair.
There you go. Batman #1, solid first issue. Give it like a 4 out of 5, honestly. I'm a little higher just because, again, I like Matt Fraction stuff. I think Matt Fraction goes into his bag a bit because, again, one of my all-time favorite superhero comic is Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, right? And in Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, what he does a lot is he showcases the arrow, like the arrowhead, in a little like box and explains what it does. And Bruce's new suit has a lot of that, where it's like, oh, here's like he puts on special goggles and stuff, and he explains like what the goggles does. Oh, the wings come out, he explained how the wings work in like a little box type of thing. That's a very Matt Fraction thing. So it's cool that he brought it into a Batman book, and I think it works pretty well. There you go. Fun book, solid first issue. I may pick up the second one, see where it goes. Very different book. We've been loving the Absolute Universe. Absolute Superman, sci-fi. Very crazy sci-fi. This is written by Jason Aaron, artist Carmine Giandomenico, colorist Ulysses Areola, letter Rebecca Carey, and editors Ash Padilla, Andrew Marino, and Chris Conroy. What's going on here is Superman was captured by Ra's al Ghul, and Ra's al Ghul's little worker buddy is essentially Brainiac, this version of Brainiac, who is a maniac. Just a scary, terrifying version of Brainiac. Not the smartest Brainiac, but definitely the scariest, I think, in my opinion. And what this Brainiac is doing is trying to break Superman. He's trying to break Kal-El. Similar to how we've seen Bane and Arc M try to break Batman. I think there's a lot of similarities there. And they came out within a few months of each other too. So I don't want to say it's repetitive, but it has similar themes. What Brainiac is doing is he's getting in Superman's head and making him see situations of himself doing terrible things and not like terrible things, but like things that a Injustice Superman would do, where he gets so angry that he does kill, and he's making him watch it again and again and again for weeks. Plural, weeks on end. Meanwhile, Talia al Ghul is completely just torturing Lois and Gambit Jimmy Olsen to a point where they finally escape because Lois is dead. General Lane comes in, saves them. Plot twist, TJ, plug your ears because here's a big moment in this issue. Until General Lane gets murdered by Talia al Ghul. He's dead. He's gone. Goodbye.
That was brutal.
It was brutal too. Yeah, the way they showed it was like, oh dang, that's crazy, crazy reveal. They finally get to Kal-El, but it may be too late. It may be too late because it seems like maybe right when they woke him up, Brainiac may have finally cracked Kal-El, and that is the final page tease. AF, we both know for a fact that it's going to be one of those he thinks he cracked him, but in the end, he didn't.
My thing is his final memory that he was in before they pulled him out was with his parents, Ma and Pa Kent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the reason why he didn't crack, because that was his last memory before they disconnected him.
But don't forget, so TJ, just so you know, in this memory, he is creating situations that obviously didn't happen and haven't happened. So he's doing the whole inserting memories that aren't real thing. And in that memory, he made it so Pa Kent says, it's okay to kill if you're doing it for the right reasons. Now, I know for a fact, Jason Aaron has said time and time again, prior to this entire series coming out, that he's not going to do something crazy to Superman. So I like, there's a part of me that I'm like, I know next issue it's going to be one of those, you think he cracked him, and in the end it just shows how strong Superman like truly is. And if it's anything other than that, I'll be upset. Yeah, that's why I'm not upset now, because I just know that he'll be fine.
Like a few weeks ago, you spoke about the hope that you were looking for in Absolute Superman. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we've been getting breadcrumbs of that along the way. And if they end up doing this, I feel all of that lead up to a hopeful type of Superman within this absolute space, that all goes out of the window immediately.
I agree. Jam says Absolute Superman is in his top of Absolute books. I think it's certainly up there. Yeah. TJ, I know you haven't read this exact issue yet, but how upset would you be if it turns in that direction of Superman, this version of Superman cracking?
I don't know. I feel like it's a hard question because I've talked a lot about how I'm sick of evil Superman for sure. Yeah. But I mean, this also is a dark side universe. So is it real? Would it be that surprising for something like that to happen? No. But I personally don't think it will go that way. Like you said, I think it's going to be used in a way to show why this Superman can still have hope despite being in a dark side universe.
Yes.
But I will also say too, like how you're a fan of Matt Fraction, I am a big fan of Jason Aaron. And for me, I trust what he's doing. I think that the story so far has really hit for me. So even if it doesn't go the way I'm thinking it is, at least for right now, I have faith in Jason Aaron's writing ability to make it all come together. But I mean, we'll see as we go on. But for right now, I'm not really worried about anything. I'm still loving this series. I think the direction that he set us on is great in my opinion. And nothing's caused me to worry that we're going to go down that evil Superman injustice route, like fully. Maybe a little bit, maybe a little, an issue or so. But yeah, I think our boy Kal-El's coming around.
From Absolute to All In, from the Dark Side universe to the universe of Superman. We're still in summer Superman, even though it's September here. This is Superman issue 29, The Legion of Darkseid Part 2. This came out last week, but I was waiting for AF to come on because he's been keeping up with this run. I'm fully caught back up on this run, and this is so incredibly important to where we are leading with the absolute and main continuity universes colliding. They're literally already colliding in this Superman book. For those who do not know, AF, I've done a lot of talking already. I'm going to let you summarize this issue. This is, by the way, written by Joshua Williamson, art from Dan Mora, colorist Alejandro Sanchez, letter Ariana Mayer, and editors Jillian Grant and Paul Kaminsky.
Yeah, I think over the last few issues, Josh Williamson has just been leveling up every single issue. The writing has been phenomenal. The story that he's telling is like, I'm not expecting all of these things. Obviously, we left off in the previous issue with Superboy Prime. They went to the Prime universe to get Superboy Prime. Time Trappers, like literally trying to get everything under control as best as he could. And they end up going to the 31st century. They go to where this Dark Side Legion is, or the Legion is supposed to be, and they get there. An entire Legion war just absolutely broke out. There are bodies everywhere. It is bloody. It is crazy. And I don't know, like, did I perceive that wrong, Damon? Is that the Brainiac from the Absolute Universe that they have over there?
You're muted.
Yeah, I that's how I perceived it in that Absolute Legion timeline. It seems like that is at least a version of that Brainiac, if not that Brainiac, because I feel like you can't have a duplicate of that version of Brainiac, because that version of Brainiac is just wild.
Yeah, so I mean, it's wild that they like included that, because I was just like, oh no, everything is merging, guys. We are getting this sooner than we think. But yeah, that betrayal as well, or not sort of betrayal, but the chameleon sort of fooling the rest of the team, killing Brainiac 5, them going to go get Booster Gold catching everybody up on who he is, because they obviously forgot him. I just think this issue was so well written, and it's just laying more and more breadcrumbs for what we know is going to be inevitable.
If I'm not mistaken, by the end of this issue, Superboy Prime sees the future and he's like, I'm evil again. You buying that?
Nope. That
little
is a red herring.
Red herring, double agent type of shenanigans. I completely agree with that. It is cool though, just seeing like the absolute versions of this Legion of Tomorrow. It's cool because you have the time trapper stuff going back and forth the time. I'm actually going to skip ahead to this. This is Justice League Unlimited number 10. This is written by Mark Waid, artist Dan Moore, colors Tamara Bonvillain, letter Ariana Mayer, and editors Marquis Draper and Paul Kaminsky. And the reason I'm skipping ahead is because these two books are tied together very tightly, because previously how Superman even got to that Absolute Legion of Tomorrow area is because of Time Trapper, who's just this different version of Doomsday. Explain to the folks what's going on in Justice League Unlimited number 10.
So we actually get a sort of a timeline on where this issue fits into the All-In universe. And in the previous issue of Superman, it started off with him coming back to Smallville looking for the Legion ring. And we don't really know the reason why he came back for the Legion ring in the first place. And we get an answer to that in this book. So it's Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. They are having a private meeting about the whole Airwave thing, like how Airwave was allowed into the League, and Batman seems to think that the League is just inviting too many people without proper due diligence being done on everybody. Superman doesn't agree with that. He says that the League, like if they didn't have as many leaguers, then they wouldn't have stood a chance against the Legion of Doom. The silver lining was the fact that they sort of hired so many people into the League, and Batman was just like, he doesn't care, he doesn't see it like that, and you just like brought in a kid without doing proper research on who he was. And then Superman, he actually drops this line, "You made Jason Todd Robin." Batman was just like, "Oh, okay, I don't have a
He's like,
comeback to that."
Touche.
Say, let me sit my ass down real quick.
And yeah, so then after that conversation, there's just a bit of a tagline. Superman, like the events of Superman number 28 follows after this. So that's why he went back to get the Legion ring. And yeah, that's Superman's arc in this issue done. But the rest of the issue was, so the Time Trapper comes back, he's on the Watchtower, and he's infected with this like dark side energy. Like it's like eating him out from the inside. And they're all trying to now figure out what is happening, how are they going to try and like remedy this. And they get Metamorpho to sort of, because Wally West tries to get into it and like try to remove it somehow, but he has this vision of him aging like drastically. So any human who goes close to the Time Trapper at the moment is just going to age till they're old and gray. And Metamorpho, he's not a human, he's elemental. So he goes in and he starts working on this guy, and we don't know the outcome of that because that's where it ends. We don't know what's going to happen to the Time Trapper, but because we know the timeline now and we see the Time Trapper in Superman 29, we know that he's going to survive. But yeah, I think this was a really good issue. There was a lot of things to do with Darkseid as well. There's one point where I think it's Mr. Terrific. He's at one of the cells holding a parademon, and this parademon is the only one who can speak English. And he's trying to now find out what. Yeah, he's trying to find out like what the plan for Darkseid is. Like, what is all of this Darkseid power that's going on? And the parademon says that like, you must think it's stupid that I got caught, but there's a reason. I have a second purpose for this, and the second purpose is that he's there to lay eggs, and he has this entire load of parademons that he just gives birth to within the cell, and they start taking over the Watchtower. So we have a lot of Darkseid power over here, and we have fire pits like on Apocalypse popping up all over Earth right now. So Darkseid is coming, guys. We know, we are prepared for it. We know it's coming. I just don't know when.
Little parademon virus baby is going crazy on the Watchtower. If only they had every superhero in all of existence over there to help.
Do they all speak English too?
No, just that one. No, just the one. That's where it's convenient.
Just that one took English studies on Apocalypse. Big Barda taught it, I think.
Went over to New Genesis for
yeah. Orion was the teacher.
For international studies or whatever it is when you're learning abroad. There you go. That's what it is. That's a joke. Studied abroad on New Genesis. Oh boy. All right, Justice League Unlimited number 10. I wanted to quickly shout this out from Jim because I have a little bit of a rebuttal on this. He said he didn't like that line from Superman regarding Jason Todd because it sounds like he doesn't believe in redemption. Batman didn't know how Jason would turn out. I don't see it that way, at least how AF described that line. I see it more as Clark, Superman, just kind of like wanted to point at Batman and be like, hey, man, you know, sometimes there are mistakes that happen. You made one, but, you know, look how it turned out, right? Like, you know, Red Hood's Red Hooding right now, but like, you know, sometimes we all make a little oopsie.
Do you know what the funniest part of that entire conversation was? With Diana just standing in the middle, trying to mediate this entire thing, but she couldn't because guys and their egos.
Guys and their egos. I don't even know how I can go on to this. From DC to Marvel, this is Ultimate X-Men number 19. This is written and painted beautifully by Peach Momoko and letters from Travis Lanham. Essentially what's been going on in this book is a lot. it is very challenging to describe everything that's going on in this book. I'll do the best I can. We have Armor, who's been dealing with a secret society. You also have May Storm, who's kind of leading her whole group of X-Men. I've been describing this time and time again for essentially 19 issues. Try not to see this as an X-Men title, more as like a mutant title, a Runaways title, something along that lines, and I think you'll enjoy this a lot more. Oh, Tyrese, I love this. Ultimate X-Men Peach Momoko is my favorite ultimate book and best iteration of X-Men ever. Mrs. Momoko is the goat of doing her own things, all 19 issues in, and no fill-in artist. Truly ultimate. Oh, yeah, no, totally great. I've been saying this is actually like my favorite X book for a while now because it's so different and it's just beautiful. And this issue in particular, we have a big fight between the Children of the Atom, who you can in a way see as like the Brotherhood of Evil in a way, versus like May Storm's X-Men, who are like the X-Men. Like they're like the Children of the Atom are more a group of kids taken in by a cult, right? And they were kind of forced into this situation. They're angry about it. Meanwhile, May Storm's X-Men are just trying to do the best they can and do good. That's where you can kind of get the X-Men involved. Anyway, big fight between the two because we have to put them on. And the artwork in here is sublime. Oh my God. There's like maybe 12 words in this entire issue, I swear.
It's the best of the
It's
series
just
for sure.
It's just splash page after full page art, and it's just incredible. Psylocke's moment in here, like her art when she's fighting, amazing. Yuka Minoru has a great page, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Essentially kind of what goes on story wise, because I did say, like, does the story match the artwork? I think important wise of its entire run, and think TJ will agree with me, this is a very important issue because Shadow King has been played this entire run by the Maester, and the Maester is kind of like taking in these powers of these X kids, of the mutant kids, and he takes Shadow King's power in a way, and it starts to manipulate the Children of the Atom. Shadow King, this little kid, is like, you know what? No, I'm going to stand up for myself, and takes out the Maester by the end. Left a little bit ambiguous on what happens to Kageyama, who's Shadow King, at the last page. A little ambiguous. We don't know what happens to him, intentionally so, because this story will continue. But important-wise, this is a huge issue. And I think, again, the art in here, 10 out of 10. Story like an 8 out of 10, but like it's just so beautifully done. TJ, do you agree with what I said?
100%. I mean, this basically really wrapped us up for everything that's been going on in these 19 issues with the Children of the Atom, the Maester. Obviously, we still have a lot of questions to be answered, but the main kind of adventure that's been driving these kids has almost concluded here. And I think it was done super well. Kageyama is such a weirdo, man. I love it. I love the way that Peach is playing with his character, because it's like there's moments where you almost sympathize with him, but then he's obviously like nutso. So I think he's a very interesting character. I'm excited. I think now with this whole he took out the Maester, we're gonna see a lot more from him in these upcoming arcs. Like what does he really want besides Hisako? But yeah, I mean, this book's great, man. I will say, if I do have any kind of criticism, which I just genuinely love this book, so it didn't bother me. But I will say it did feel a little bit like we kind of rushed to this ending a little bit. I don't want to say necessarily rushed, but just kind of like, okay, like the Maester's gone and Hisaku's fine. Like last we saw, Hisaku was in this tree. And then all of a sudden, like, she's just out. And it was like, that's fine. Like, we don't have to waste too much time on that. But it did feel a little bit just kind of like, oh, yeah, now Hisaku's here. And, Kageyama, boom, Maester's gone. So there were little things like that. But again, not all of those things were not enough to take away from, like you said, how this issue wraps everything up. And then plus the art that just makes everything just sing.
No, I do agree with that because a lot of times in this series, I think one of the biggest complaints is like not a whole lot happens in between issues, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like a manga in that way where you read like a chapter of a manga and it's really just like a short story where you
Mhm.
kind of just like see a moment in time of a character. And it happens like quite often in this run, which is fine, especially when you're reading it in a volume form, which I think is the best way to read this. Best way to read Ultimate X-Men
Agreed.
is by trade,
Mhm.
so that way you don't feel like you have to wait so long after getting kind of just like a very short issue. But going from a very throwaway line in this issue, which is like, oh yeah, you've been like sleeping for days, so it's like, okay, it's been like a few days or
Yeah.
something between Hisako, they found her like in a tree. It's the best way we can describe it.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
like
best
in the
way I
husk of
can
a
put it.
tree.
Yeah, or inside of another mutant dude. But did
Yes.
you notice? I'm sure you did, but I thought this was a little clever, little tease for us. Did you notice that how many messages Hisaku got while she was in the tree?
616 missed messages.
616, baby. The incursion is happening, man.
Haha.
Yeah,
Yes.
loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Here's a book to talk about. Here's a book to talk about. Everything is fine. It's Gwenpool number 5. This is written by Kevin Scott. This is from artist Stefano Caselli. This is colorist Matt Miller and letter Ariana Mayer. Editors Katie McGahee and Jordan D. White. This book has had a long history with the show for whatever reason, at least the last 6 months, 7 months. Whenever it was announced, it was a bit rage baity, where it was announced with the digging up the grave of Gwen Stacy and she became Gwenpool. And we're all like, what the hell is going on? First issue we read of this, myself and AF really enjoyed. We really liked it. Second issue, it's like, okay, we can start to see where this is going. Issue 3, issue 4, Gwenpool dies, becomes a ghost. We get some really cool moments. This is the finale. And I think my biggest issue with this is I believe this should have been one more issue. I think AF will probably agree with that. I think this needed one more issue because a lot happens in here, and where it ends, it just needed something. Like it said the end. I'm like, well, we're gonna have like one more issue after this, right? Like to really wrap things up. No. So here's what's going on. This version of Gwen Stacy is kind of a Spider-Man deep cut. She is a clone of a clone, essentially, of Gwen Stacy years past. So she's not the same Gwen Stacy, whose skull and skeleton is still in the casket, which we saw. Kind of wild that we saw that, but we saw that skeleton in the casket. This is not her. There is a man pulling the strings behind it all. And that man, TJ, pulling the strings, who is the evil doer behind all of it?
Peter Parker.
It is none other, TJ, than Kevin Scott.
I love it. I love it. I love it already. I don't
None
even need to know
other-
more. I love it.
None other than Kevin Scott himself. It is the writer of the book who is the villain of the story.
Dude,
And
yes. I love that.
I love the idea. I think if again, one more issue of it, and I think we actually could like there's one more issue of it, and I think we really could have dove a little deeper on like the statement we were getting at because it felt like a couple panels of it, and then we just kind of like had to rush to the end. And I think that's unfortunate. Art here from yeah. If you can go on. I've talked enough.
No. I just want to make a comment real quick. And I mean, if you are writing a Gwenpool book, Gwenpool is known to be breaking the fourth wall. She's known to be meta. What is more meta than putting yourself in the book to make yourself the villain? I think that was an amazing creative choice. I think that nobody saw that coming. Absolutely nobody saw it coming. And it was great. Like the moment they like unmasked, I was like, okay, who is this dude? And then the more you like read, I was like, oh, that's interesting. but yeah, I liked it. It's a meta book. It's a Gwenpool book. Like
It's a Gwenpool book, and that's kind of the
it's a
point.
Gwenpool book.
That's the
Yeah.
whole point about like he's just like it's a Gwenpool book. He's like, you're a joke. Everything about this is a joke. It doesn't matter. I can kill you, and you'll just find a way to still be around because you're Gwenpool, right? I think one of my favorite lines is like when they get revealed, and he's like, "Yes, Gwen Stacy, Weapon X, a new mysterious villain." That's Kevin like explaining the pitch, and then she's like, "New mysterious self-insert." I'm like, that's good. I was like, yeah, that's
I
pretty good.
love that, dude. Kevin Scott, you killed that, dude. Keep doing it. Do it more. I think that's so cool. That's super creative. I'm not even reading the book, but I will read this just for that because I think that's just super creative, super cool. Like
Yeah.
you said, something you're not expecting. I always appreciate a big swing, whether it lands fully or not. I think that's awesome.
However, TJ, my biggest surprise about all of this, are you ready? What do you think happens to Gwenpool clone? What do you think by the end of this issue happens to her?
Is this a theoretical, hypothetical
No,
question?
what
or
do you
want
think?
an answer?
I'll let you guess the ending of this. What do you think happens to Gwenpool clone?
She's erased, with an
Nope.
eraser.
She's still around. She still exists.
Cool.
Marvel
Hell
can
yeah.
use her
Alive.
at any moment. So we now have another
X31.
version of Gwen. X31. It should be X65.
I think we need a
Ooh,
Gwenpool
that's
Jeff.
good.
Should have been X65.
They pulled one of Jeff's molars out just for this entire operation.
Yes, they did. They pulled out Jeff's molars to make it look like Gwenpool killed Jeff. Kate Bishop had to get. Oh yeah, they killed Kate Bishop, and she was explaining to the evil guy before it was revealed to be Kevin Scott. He's like, "Yes, I killed Spider-Man. He's the mask." And then Gwenpool's like, "Oh, and I killed Kate Bishop. Here's her bow." And he's like, less important." And I'm like, "Oh."
And Jeff, and then
Yeah, and
Gwen
he was
just
like, "Yeah, no one knows who that is."
That was directed at you, Damon. That was
Literally those two
that was
lines,
a personal shot.
especially because you get to hear Gwenpool's voice kind of floating around through. It's like, "Are you kidding me? If Jeff died, there'd be a national day of mourning."
she's not wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'd be leading it." So look, it's a fun book. I think like many Gwenpool books, I think the issue is anything that happens here, the next time we see her can just be completely retconned or completely forgotten and whatever. And that's kind of the point of Gwenpool, is you can just say something and I'll just wipe your hands, take it away, it goes away. So I think it's fun. I think in the end, this entire series AF was better than we expected.
Yeah, I agree. But I do agree that one more issue would have I think it would have raised the final score for me. I think I finished on probably a 3.5 out of 5 for the entire mini. So yeah,
there you go. Gwenpool, number 5. We did it. We made it through Gwenpool. We are worried. We raised our fists in anger. We were rage baited beyond belief. And we had a decent time with it. So there you go, guys. Never judge a comic by its rage baity cover. This is Captain Planet and the Planeteers, number 4 from friend of the show, David Pepos, artist Amon Casayos, colors Jorge Sutul, letterer Jeff Eckelberry, and editor Joe Rybant. TJ, this is our last book of the day. Send us away.
Another Pepose classic, people. We talked about Speed Racer last week. It's we have a new Pepose every week, and I fucking love it because Captain Planet, new Pepose every week, baby. But Captain Planet 4 is just as great as the first 3. The adventure is full on its way. All of our kids are getting hunted by Lucius Plunder. We get a lot of different villains popping up throughout the story, which I think is really cool because it's one of those if you know, you know, but if not, when that time comes, it'll be pretty dope. And I'll just get into a spoiler real quick because I think it's one of the best parts of the book so far. Is we get Captain Pollution, basically Captain Planet's biggest villain, his evil alter ego, and Propose makes Lucius Plunder, who's like the evil billionaire guy, he creates synthetic rings made from like bad material. You know, I'm stupid. I'm not scientific enough to shout out all the elements here, but he creates these, like I said, bad rings, and he turns himself into Captain Pollution, which is a little different from the cartoon. And I thought that was so cool. I think it's cool to make Lucian Plunder even more villainous than he already is by making him also Captain Pollution. And also just like we are hitting the ground running, folks. Like Captain Pollution as our first big villain, to me, like I would imagine that being like the kind of ending arc, like, oh, you know, the Doctor Doom, if you would, kind of reveal after we get through all the other little villains. So the fact that we're just jumping straight into Captain Pollution, I think is awesome. I think it really sets the stage, really gets the engines moving. And we also get some more great stuff with the Planeteers as well, like their relationships together, them trying to learn how to work together in order to stop all of this crazy stuff. And we talked about this last time. To me, that's the real heart of the book is the kids and their relationships with each other. So this issue for me was like a perfect balance of the two, where I'd say last issue was very much focused on the Planeteers and their relationship. This issue gives us a balance of both relationship dynamics and fun action adventure Captain Planet craziness. So yeah, I love it. Again, if you're a fan of Captain Planet, there's no way I can see you not liking this. If you've never read Captain Planet or watched it, I would say this is also a great place to jump in too.
Is this an ongoing or a limited series? Do we know for
As
certain?
far as I'm aware, it's an ongoing, but okay. I will get clarification on that for next week, because I know we're probably going to have a proposed book next week too, which I'm excited for. So I'll figure that out for everybody.
All right. Captain Planet, number 4, Planeteers, assemble.
Brandon.
Can't wait to read 3 and 4. Totally agree. Here's next week's polls. Got a Absolute Batman little book. Hello Darkness for myself and the gang. Supergirl number 5 is out next week. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. The first issue was fantastic. Highly recommend it. Superman has some of the best Black Label titles, period. And this seems like this will just be another one. So go check out that first issue. And if you like it, pick up issue 2. It's written by the same creative team. It's done by the same creative team as Ice Cream Man, which is a horror anthology. But this isn't like horror at all. It's just a very cool Black Label book. Also, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number 4. Hey, Magic's on the cover of that. I'll read it. And Ultimate Wolverine number 9. I didn't talk about it this week, but Magic number 9 came out this week. We also have Magic number 10 coming out in 2 weeks, and that's the finale. So I will talk about that then, just because it's all in the same month. We're just wrapping it up for this big X Annihilation event, yada yada AF, before I get into an X rant. What you got?
Yeah, so I got Absolute Batman number 12. There's a new Red Hood number 1 dropping next week, so I really want to check that out. And then I think there's an Imperial War Nova Centurion number 1 that's out next week. And then we spoke about this a few weeks ago, the Undead Iron Fist number 1 that drops next week as well.
Yes, Undead Iron Fist. TJ, what you got?
I surprisingly have a small stack this next week. I got
look at the smile on his face for that.
I know. Look at that, dude. I can't contain myself. Absolute Batman 12, Exceptional X-Men, which I am super like crazy far behind on, but we talk a lot about Stephanie Phillips on this show, so I know it's probably great because her other runs are awesome. One World Under Doom, which I said before, I'm behind on a lot of stuff, but I cannot believe that is still going, and it's only on issue number 7. So that's
this is a 9-month-long event, ladies.
Yeah, so that was a little surprising for me to see. I thought that had long been wrapped up, but I got that.
Nope.
And then Ultimate Wolverine number 9. So yeah, not too crazy of a list for me.
I I keep forgetting we're still in One World Under Doom.
I couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe, because again, I'm so far behind, but I know I read, I think 4. So you're telling, like, we've only had 3 issues since then.
It's been 3 months. Like 3 months. That's all summer essentially. Like, don't forget about that. It's just that's how much time flies, man. He didn't like that.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's weird though. I don't know. I don't want to talk crap. Because I'm with Jam. I love One World Under Doom too. But I'll say, like, the wait between Absolute Batman does not feel as long as One World Under Doom. And they're both month by month. So I don't know what that means, but take that as you will.
Is it because you aren't reading as many DC books? So compared to with Marvel, you are reading lots of Marvel books. So maybe it's a treat to get a new Absolute Batman.
It is true. That is true. It is a treat when I get a new Absolute book. So that could be it. But yeah, I feel like we're getting Absolute Batmans every other week, but I feel like it's been a year since I read on One World Under Doom.
I was trying to quickly do a Marvel DC like percentages of what I subscribe to, but when we first started the show, AF knows I was more of a Marvel reader because we didn't have Absolute, we didn't have Ultimate.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to mainline universe specifically, there's really only 2, and it's going to turn into 0 because they're both ending. Marvel mainline universe books I'm reading, because Magic is ending in a couple weeks, and Scarlet Witch's run, which it's whenever Steve gets a new mini essentially at this point. And that's really it when it comes to Marvel mainline books for me, because the rest of it, I'm reading Supergirl, I'm reading Superman, I'm reading Nightwing, and so far I really like that first issue of Batman, right? So what does that tell you? For me, it's when you have great writers at DC. A lot of my favorite writers went over to DC. I'm just, I'm going to read them a little bit more DC books. So it's just kind of crazy. Long story short, how much my reading tastes have changed since we started this show over a year ago now.
I mean, the Absolute books are always what I'm most excited for. And I wouldn't even hesitate to say that. There's a lot of books that I'm loving right now, but when I see an Absolute in my box, that's what I'm excited for. That'll probably be my first read, which is insane to me because everyone knows that I'm a Marvel boy. I've been a big Marvel, always Marvel. So yeah, the fact that DC is my most anticipated books every week says something, I think.
I was gonna say same thing with me. I mean, look what's behind me right now. I have Hawkeye stuff, I have Black Cat stuff, I have Doctor Strange stuff, and then you can barely see it because it's like right over there. It's like, oh, there's a tiny little section right down here of DC, just all cluttered into one, right? Like,
I'm pretty sure you have like a Superman shelf.
I have a Superman shelf over there. You just can't see it. But yeah. Oh, and a Nightwing shelf, to be fair, but it's over there, so it's hard to see.
It shows when you let writers cook and are not afraid to go outside the lines a little bit. You usually get some good shit.
That's true. It is true. That'll do it for this issue of the Comic Corner. As always, thank you so much for watching. Jam, Brandon, Tyrese, TJ, everyone joining live in the chat. So much appreciated. And thank you everyone who watches the show after the fact. Hopefully the chapter system is doing well for y'all. I noticed that. I can see how people watch things, and it seems like it works pretty well. So thumbs up there. As always, please go support your local comic shop. Go to comicshoplocator.com to find nearest comic shop near you. That's the heartbeat, the blood, the pulse, the soul of the comic industry. Go check, go make friends, have a community. I have mine, BoomTube, shout out in Southington. We have a great little community over there of all of us who yap comics, get into very intense Superman movie debates. Apparently that was fun. But it's always a good time. Please check out our Peacemaker after show. We have an episode dropping tonight. Well, the episode drops tonight, but the after show will be tomorrow, so keep an eye out on 4 times for that. I've been enjoying season 2, not like as much as season 1, I'll be honest, but I have, I'm keeping my expectations high for episode 6, 7, 8, where it hasn't been released yet, and James Gunn is keeping it very close to his chest. So I'm looking forward to see why. That's all I'll say on that. Thank you all for
Cameos.
watching. Cameos, baby. Thank you all for watching. Much appreciated. As always, we love you all, and we will see you next week.